I'm not done yet. You know how hard Asriel would have gone. You know how hard Cassian went hard in all those battle scenes. Cassian went so fucking hard in all of those battle scenes. Of course, spoilers for House of Flame and Shadow, but Cassian would have went so fucking hard in all those battle scenes. And what did we get? Not a sliver of a battle scene with the Akatar characters. I didn't need this to be an Akatar book. But if you're going to have a crossover event, why not take advantage of building good relationships with the Akatar characters and then, just having them beat Asteri's ass? They don't know. Like, the Akatar characters are very much like, look, they're oppressing people. Let's beat people's asses. Those Akatar characters would go fucking hard against the Asteri because they're not about oppression. They're not about being put down. We all know their backstories. We all know how hard they would fucking go. So how come we didn't see a story where they make friends with Bryce and they're like, look, we don't need all this screen time. We just want to beat people's asses and use guns. Like, this isn't even something that's too far fetched. We already were promised a crossover. Let me get back to some comments. Sarah and her info dumping. So you trashed your planet, then went to feed off others. We had to find sustenance. This sounds like Thermoglass. So this sounded like the Vogue to me, and I was like, oh, this sounds like the Vogue. But we don't get anything confirmed ever because we're just supposed to read things and then confirm it ourselves, right? I'm not doing that. Bryce hasn't been doing much but make poor irrational decisions and solving them easily. Bryce was just like a baby. And they just kept trying to make her not get killed in these caves. And it was really frustrating. Underground caves in Kingdom of Ashes to teleport underground from country to country. Yes, that Kingdom of Ash where they have that underground cave with the little people and they go across the boat and it teleports them from country to country, and it's just kind of like an easy access point in order to get from one place to another. Villain info dumped and monologue so much. Nesta was so easily able to defeat the monster. Yeah, villain was fucking monologuing. Um Finally Bryce is doing something to fight back. Grade A beef. All the first light was grade A healing magic, and I put next to it, that's some grade A beef. Um, this reminds me of Aqua War when Feyre basically forgets she has powers when Resand is around. I love Nesta, but fucking hell, Bryce, do something. Yes! Does anybody else remember in A Court of Wings and Ruin when when Feyre is basically around Resand? At any time she's around Resand, she basically forgets she has abilities. She forgets that she has the power of the Seven Lords. And you know what she does? Anytime she's around Resand, she's like, damsel in distress. And the moment she's away from Resand, she's like, I'm a baddie again. And it's like, no, you were always a baddie, Feyre. It's just, how come you're forgetting? How come you're forgetting in this moment that you're a baddie? And this is what it felt like. How come the Akatar characters had to be saving Bryce every fucking second? Blame all you want on survival, but they kept saving her motherfucking ass. Chapter 27, chapter title, You Only Left Me with More Questions. Me to SJM every time I read her books. 100%. Let me read that again. Chapter title. I wrote this chapter title. You only left me with more questions. Me to SJM every time I read her books. 100%. 100% agree with that. Bryce wanted more info dumping. No, ma'am. No, please. No, no, no. This feels like AI wrote these scenes because it did. It did. It felt like they were fed all of SJM's books and they said, write an 800-page novel. Good luck. And it's like, bet. No decision Bryce made to try and get home was true to her character, and she really was annoying in this book. No common sense in any decision making. Part one felt like artificial intelligence was just fed SJM books and told to write a third novel. Ha! I'm agreeing with my own comments. Ha ha ha. Lahaba would have loved them. Lahaba should have been there with them, with all of them. Yes, she should have. She should have continued being in this book because I think that's the only reason I finished Crescent City 1. That and Bryson Hunt's love story. I wanted more toes. Where were the toes? Where were the toes in this book? We got toes in the second book. We got toes in the first book. But where were the fucking toes in this book? Where were the toes? SJM, you cut that three-way with Nesta, Azriel, and Cassian, and then you cut the toes in the third book. Can't forgive you for that shit. That's why you got a 2.5 rating out of 5. Where were the fucking toes? The toes would have redeemed it. The toes would have given you a 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 just for toes. I'm a little fucking weird, man. I'm a little fucking weird. This is me yelling at the book. Sis, where did you get your common sense from, though? Because that was true. Aelin, is that you? This scene is so Aelin coded. I'm fucking dead. Let's see what it's about. Yeah, that's that one that I was saying, 348, where she handcuffs her dad. Am I dead or alive? SJM revival trope. If you know, you know. She just revives all her main characters. Your favorite overpowered characters never really die. And SJM books, your favorite overpowered characters never fucking die. They just, if they're side characters and they're overpowered, they just get shoved to the side. They don't really get a plot. They're really cool though, but they don't get a plot. When SJM adds random plot twists that wasn't established in any of her previous info dumping scenes, they're not my brothers, Lydia whispered, her fingers curled on the glass. They're my sons. It's like, where the fuck did you pull this shit out from? Where was this in the second book? We were introduced to you in the second book. The kids should have been introduced in the second book. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This is Bryce. This is the Bryce we know and love. Everything else is I can't speak. Call me Pharaoh. The Bryce in the Phalanx wasn't Bryce. This is the Bryce we know and love. Yep, I agree with that. This is the sassy Bryce I like. That's where I was starting to enjoy the book. I was like, wow, I'm really enjoying this all over again. This is me. We could have done without this chapter, to be honest. I don't even know what chapter it is, but I agree. Because this is a part of those 200 pages that could have been cut. This could have been in the prequel along with Danica and Bryce hanging out together. It didn't need to be an info dump. Yep. There were a lot of scenes that could easily be novellas, like prequel novellas could have been done easily. And instead, we include this as info dumps. Bryce's discount Aelin coded scenes. I'm assuming you have some plan up your sleeve that you're going to spring on us at the worst possible moment. Does that not sound like Aelin to you? That sounds like Aelin to me. I'm assuming you have some plan up your sleeve that you're going to spring on us at any worst possible moment. That's Aelin. Aelin would do that shit. Is this a TOG joke? I literally put, is this a Throne of Glass joke? Bryce reached across the table and squeezed the Hell Hand's hand, love and pain on her face. Darian turned his gaze from the matching expression that had gave her as he squeezed her hand, a private, intimate moment of grieving. So basically, this is one of those moments where Baxian is just grieving Danica, and there was just a lot could have been cut. It could have been a more emotional scene, to be honest, and it wasn't. I want to see this, not be told this. Just so you know, during our ordeal, it took the three of us a while to get Plessia's tomb and the Star Sword, but that was also because we were being chased and hunted by ghouls and Cormac and the Murder Twins. But this is what I'm saying. This could have been just the scene. It could have been a prequel. I feel like she should have had a prequel with all of the information that's in this book. There could have been multiple prequels. Who is making it to the end? Too soon, he'd likely never see them again. Yeah, I was like, who's making it to the end? I should have known all of them were gonna make it to the end, though. Show, don't tell. Yep, I agree with that. I'd rather see this than be told this. Yep, that's another one. Show, don't tell. The amount of times I wrote this. Haha.